First of all, thanks for joining me. Before we start, we have a little creative brainstorm on what to make this episode about. And Gianna, out of nowhere, said, whatever you do, don't continue talking about your recliner, because I've started the real First Things First show back-to-back days just talking about my recliner. Live from New York, it's the show that watched the game in a recliner. And let me tell you, recliners. Do you have yourself a recliner?
Yeah, it's nice. You just figured that out?
I don't know why. They fell out of fashion. I've been sitting here on a couch like a fool. Do you have a nice one?
Listen, I
Unreal.
do. But we are now a group of 40 and 50-year-old men talking about how comfortable our sitting chairs are.
I'm just saying.
Not exactly.
I'm just saying, listen, we're going to go to what camera? If you don't have a recliner,
wild.
Go out and get one. It's amazing. That's a 12:45. I'm like, sure, 5 seconds, taking 15 minutes. I'm in my recliner. I don't mind.
Roll the animation.
I'm exhausted.
Dust.
Live from New York. It's a show that spent another night in the recliner.
You got to stop.
2 for 2.
You got to stop.
I thought it was a one-time fluke thing.
You saw we got people sending us pictures of them watching the show from their recliners.
Still underrated. I said, fine. It's going to be about the Celtics. So here's the thing about the Celtics. They're great. Everybody knows that they're great, but they're still underrated. A lot like my recliner. Just hear me out. I won't do the whole recliner thing, but if you don't have a recliner, you are missing out. I'm serious. Then we'll move on, but just listen. If you get onto a fancy aircraft, okay? Emirates Airlines, all right? This seat in the front row costs 10 grand maybe. And the back seat next to the bathroom maybe costs 400. You can get a Jack and Ginger Ale in both spots. The staff is nice to you in both spots. You're leaving and landing at the same time, no matter what seat you're in. You know what the major difference is? You got a TV in both. Same movies. The ability to recline. And how much your seat can recline is the difference between the worst experience on the plane and the best. They literally call it a seat. Would you get a good seat or bad seat? Seats are basically the same. It's just how much they recline. That's the recliner talk, okay? Just saying. Recliners are fantastic. Okay, here's the real story, since we don't want to talk about recliners. And it is about the Celtics. I went to Maine on a summer break. Maine's great. Went to Acadia National Park. Also great. There's a little place we climbed up this mountain. Was it a mountain? It was almost like just I don't even think it was a hill. I think it was like a plateau, perhaps. In any event, we climb up this place to get popovers. And it is so beautiful. It is stunningly beautiful that if I died and I went to heaven and it was actually that place, I would have the same reaction to God himself as I do when my wife buys me a birthday present that I already saw charged on the credit card. Like, actually, I've been here before, God. He's like, you have? I'm like, yes, I went to Maine. This is actually also in Maine. He's like, get out of town. It is. I'm like, yes, it's some flaw in the system. It's like heaven on earth. So everybody knows it's great, but it's still underrated. Also in New England, which works for the Celtics. So that's not even the story. We leave the heaven on earth place with the popovers. Go to the local bookstore. Get some summer reading. That'll be great. I'm looking around all the bestsellers and, the picks from the people that work at the bookstore. That's always interesting. And I went over to local authors. Oh, read about a fisherman or something, read about a lobsterman. So there's all these little books like The Coast of Maine and Adventures off of Maine and this and that. And I said, okay, let's see if anything piques my interest. And underneath the local authors, it was Stephen King. Local author. I said, he lives in Maine. That makes sense. And it has all the Stephen King books. So I'd never read a Stephen King book before because, Stephen King, it's just like, I don't know. Am I into Stephen King? It's just mass produced. And it's like, that's not for me. I'm unique. But since he's a local author, I'll give the guy a shot. I get this little paperback Stephen King book. Fantastic. Turns out, Stephen King, great writer. And people don't talk about it enough. Again, I read, I'm like, this Stephen King can really write. I got another Stephen King book. Also great. I'm shocked. I keep on talking about Stephen King. My wife buys me a Stephen King book for Christmas. Unbelievable. I'm just telling you. Between Recliners and Stephen King and the Celtics, I come up with this theory. Sometimes things are so obviously great that you just end up overlooking them. And it happens in all aspects of your life. The other day, I was walking the dog, same dog that ran away. If you followed this, I had him on a leash. And I looked up at the stars. I said, look at those stars. Aren't those amazing? And then I just started, checking my phone. Oh, my goodness. Look. There's just some things are so amazing that until you sit with them and really focus on them, and all the noise goes away, and you can see for yourself how amazing they are, that's when it clicks. And you almost feel silly that you didn't come to the conclusion before that because it's obvious that they're amazing. That's the Boston Celtics. Second best offensive rating, fourth best defensive rating, second best net rating, third best win percentage. We get it. They shoot the most threes. We got it. Like, you kind of get it. Here's some other things about the Celtics. And then I'll tell another story that will make this all sense. Fifth best scoring margin in franchise history. Fourth best offense in NBA history. The most threes in NBA history. 33 road wins. The second most in NBA history. They are 19-2 following a loss. 960 turnovers. Fewest in franchise history. More 30-point leads than 15-point defeats. Get this one. 1,451 opponent free throw attempts, the fewest in NBA history. So there's all sorts of statistics that you're like, oh, the Celtics are awesome. I know they're awesome, but you haven't grasped it yet. Their image is that they're very good, but they're actually even better than you think. Here's the story that I'm trying to encapsulate. It's a little bit of career advice, a little life advice, a little way to look at the Celtics. At my old job, I guess I was called a mentor, but when people were being onboarded onto the company, they were somewhere between a full-time employee and an intern. It was like a probationary period, almost like a tryout, like an elongated tryout. And I was there to kind of just meet with the guy and help him out. But it was kind of a fun thing to help people as they first were starting their career. And he's still at the company. He's doing great. So his 3 months go by or whatever, and he's going to officially be hired. So it's nice. There's not a ceremony, but it's oh, come up and sign your contract or something. I don't know. I felt like there was something ceremonial. Maybe you got a pen or something. I don't know. A badge. Something happened. And anyways, we went up the hill and talked to the HR department. It was a nice little thing. So the HR person said, would you like some advice on your career? To him. And I'm like, oh, I'll take some, I'll listen up for advice, even though I am the mentor. And I'll take some creative liberties here because they didn't do this. But when I retell this story, I do it. So from here on out, it's a little bit of a fib, but the point stands. They drew a circle. Not really, but this is how I do it because I think it's better told this way. Like a little Mercedes sign, a little peace sign, okay? Like a pie. 3 slices of the pie. They don't all have to be equal. You can draw them however you want. PIE. PIE are the big drivers of your career. I said, oh, interesting. P, performance. How well are you at your job or whatever you're doing? This also works for Little League tryouts. My son's hockey tryouts. Hey, how well do you actually do? Performance. Now, in an ideal world, in a pure meritocracy, which sports often is, performance is all that matters. It's just a pie with just the P. In the real world, it doesn't always work like that. Next one, I, image. What's your image in the company or at the Little League tryouts or whatever? You go to Little League tryouts and your name is Mike Trout Jr., your image is going to be better than if your name is Joey Strikeouts. No matter what your performance is, your image will kind of be there. E, what's your exposure? And this is an interesting one, sports-wise, career-wise. It's a little bit challenging if you're doing remote work. I always tell people hey, make sure your boss knows who you are. You don't want to be super look at me, but you also don't want to be Goodwill Hunting, just doing awesome work when no one's around on the blackboard and then leaving. You have to have some sort of mix. So some sort of balance between the P, the I, and the E. Performance, image, exposure. So then run the Celtics through that. Their performance is excellent. They're the second best team. We went all through it. Their image, also great. They are the world champions, but probably underrated. Like if I went through these again and like, hey, did you know the Celtics never foul? That the team that you don't get to take free throws against the Celtics? You're like, oh, I know their image is good defense. I know their image is taking threes, but I don't think about them not fouling. That should be part of their performance. That also should be part of their image. Hey, did you know that the Celtics' longest losing streak was 2 games? Like, oh, they never have a run of losing. That's not part of their image. It's part of their performance, but it should be part of their image. Finally, exposure. I think the Celtics have a decent amount of exposure, but still most of the NBA season is still localized. And once the playoffs hit, it starts to become national, and people are going to start to realize, oh, the Celtics are even better than we think. Quick comparison to the Lakers, who have a better image probably because of the superstars and a very high exposure with them always kind of being a local team and a national team than their performance actually is. Now, Lakers fans get a little bit upset, but the Lakers' performance of just kind of being in the teens offensive rating, defensive rating, 15-8 when Luke and LeBron play, their performance is probably a little bit lower than their image and their exposure. So in summary, 2 final things I'll leave you with. The Celtics are obviously winning the championship because their performance is better than you actually think. Their exposure is about to go up and everyone's going to come along and realize how great they are. And their image of being a great team doesn't exactly line up with how great they are because they're so good, people take them for granted a little bit. It's a lot like a recliner, okay? Just hear me out on the recliner again. It's fantastic. Get yourself a recliner.